Welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. Trade rumors leading today's show. We've got, again, Trey Lance ideas out there. The possibility of trading a tight end, a former top 100 pick for Dallas could be on the move, and if Dallas should go pursue a Broncos running back. Before we get to that, we are losing the monthly sub battle. Eagles now super hot, which is, I guess, good for them. We're bigger. We're playing behind the 8 ball. Let's catch up at least to the Giants. We are within striking distance. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/CowboysTV for multiple videos each and every single day. We begin again with the Trey Lance trade idea. Once again involved in trade rumors, ideas, theories, suggestions. CBS Sports saying the Ravens should trade for him. This was pitched as the Ravens' idea, less of a Cowboys idea, but it directly involves Dallas, obviously. Remember back when the Cowboys first made the deal for Trey Lance? Not quite to a year ago, but getting close to it. The 3 other teams that reportedly had been involved at a lower pick cost, that's why Dallas won the trade, the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, and the Detroit Lions. All 3 teams kind of fitting a similar mold of, well, we liked him coming out of the draft. Maybe he can emerge as our backup quarterback. And that was the idea behind it for CBS Sports and the Ravens, even though there was no trade package put together because sometimes it's just a little bit, lazy. I don't know. That's probably mean, but they didn't do it. The Ravens have Lamar Jackson, obviously their starter. Very, very veteran. The ultimate journeyman quarterback, Josh Johnson, is in place to be QB2. A different style quarterback in Devin Leary is QB3. They did also add Emory Jones, who kind of bounced around Florida, Cincinnati, among his stops in college. 3 of those guys are mobile, dual-threat quarterbacks, just like Lamar Jackson is. I guess 2 of the 3 backups are there. Leary's a bit more of the outlier there. So Lance would fit that mold. Think about it. The Cowboys and Bills have quarterbacks who can run, maybe a little bit less so at this stage of his career, Dak, but still it fits, right? You're not drastically changing the offense to maximize the backup if he has to end up playing. They did draft Devin Leary. I'm not sure if they then send another draft pick as part of that deal. To spend 2 late-round picks would amount to on quarterbacks is unusual in the same calendar year. Lance is still a complete unknown. We don't know how good he actually is. Is he good? Is he bad? Is he somewhere in between? That's a massive unknown, and also what makes things so tricky. Before we get to that conversation, looking ahead to next year, is Trey Lance even going to be on this Cowboys roster? Because if the answer is no, maybe it does make sense to trade and get whatever you can for him. It's the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes on the YouTube side, ignore it, nobody cares. Head down there and go vote. Y for yes, N for no. There's one big issue with all these different ideas when it comes to potentially, hypothetically, hey, maybe they do it, of trading Trey Lance. What the heck's his value? How much is he really worth? The Cowboys gave up a 4th-round pick. So it's a little tough to see them saying, we'll take a 5th or a 6th, because they didn't actually get anything out of him. They basically rented him and sold him for a lower cost, right? But I don't think there's any NFL team that would move a 4th or more for Lance right now. That's why guys like Mac Jones, etc., even Justin Fields, went for less. There's only 1 year of team control. Now, maybe that hypothetical changes after the preseason. If Lance plays super well, the value goes up. But at that point, would Dallas trade him? That kind of limits the upside. You traded for Lance to see if he could be a backup and or more for you, but you're hoping for a backup, spend what amounts to a 4th-round pick on him. If he looks like a competent backup, why would you move on? At that point, he becomes your quarterback too. He's over Cooper Rush, and you can figure out 2025 when it comes to it. Maybe he's back, whether competing for a role as the backup, gets a chance to be the starter a la Jordan Love. You'd be a little bit hard-pressed if he plays well in the preseason to then trade him. And if he doesn't, not going to have any trade value. That's the weird dichotomy you face at that particular spot when it comes to Lance. Got a new sponsor here on the Cowboys Report. It is True Nutrition. If you're buying protein powder or other supplements, you should be concerned about the ingredients. It is not a secret that the supplement industry is not heavily regulated, and many products on the market have fillers or even harmful chemicals in them. That is why I am excited to have True Nutrition on board. It can be really hard to find the right protein powder to match your body and fitness goals. That's why with True Nutrition, you can create your own fully customizable protein powder mix with the exact ingredients you want based on your activity, taste, diet, and goals. This is truly sports nutrition designed by you with the highest quality products possible and no BS. It is ready in just minutes. It's got pure ingredients. It is nutritious and delicious. And that's a big deal for me, by the way. I don't want this stuff to taste just like powder. This is the French vanilla. I've got one that's strawberry sorbet, cookie butter, and chocolate peanut butter cup as well. Taste matters to me, and True Nutrition delivers there. For a limited time, you guys can get 15% off your entire order when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 15% off your order at truenutrition.com with promo code CHAT, C-H-A-T. Take the guesswork out of nutrition with True Nutrition. That link and code will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. Let's talk more trades here. Blogging the Boys putting 2 trade candidates on their, or at least one of their recent articles. Peyton Hendershot, the tight end, and Nahshon Wright, the corner. Look, both guys are firmly on the roster bubble. I think we would all agree. We'll eventually do a 53-man roster projection. I don't know if either guy is going to make it. A cut might very well be more likely here because I don't think there's immense value in either player with what they are at this stage in their career and or what they were, their acquisition cost was originally, which I think does matter in trade conversation. Look where Lance went for, despite not being very good in San Francisco. So of those 2 players, who is more likely to make the roster? PH for Peyton Hendershot, NW for Nahshon Wright. Go vote in the comments of today's show. I might lean more towards Wright. I'm not sold on that one. If he can be a core special teamer, that really helps, but the C.J. Godwin role is pretty impactful there. Nahshon Wright was a top 100 pick, and he was an outlier pick at that. He wasn't somebody that was viewed, consensus or even close to it, as a top 100 player. Cowboys kind of broke what the general draft community thought, right? Sometimes teams, right? Sometimes they're not. It's the draft. It's a crapshoot. I think there are 4 spots locked in on the roster. At corner, Diggs, Bland, Lewis, and Carson. 5, 6, maybe 7, depending on how you're counting Mukuamu and or Goodwin, are up for grabs. Maybe that's Butler. Maybe that's Conley. Maybe it's Wright. Maybe it's just Eric Scott. So there's a path for Wright to make the roster if everyone's healthy even, but it's not a guarantee. Same goes for Peyton Hendershot. Hendershot, there were some in the organization who were like, this guy might be better than Jake Ferguson. Better athlete than Fergie is, although it hasn't led to results on the field. He's had some drop issues, had some injury stuff right there. I think there are 2 locks at the tight end spot, Fergie and Luke Schoonmaker. That leaves 1, maybe 2 roles. Do they go blocking tight end? That might be Brevin Spann-Ford. Princeton Fant can do a little bit of both. Plus, he helps on special teams, I think even more so than Hendershot does. Do they go with the move tight end? It was going to be Stevens last year over Hendershot before he got hurt. There's no guarantee he makes the roster. Now, what I did appreciate was Blogging the Boys had suggested maybe it's a player-for-player swap. Maybe you get a running back or a linebacker or an offensive lineman or a DT. Great idea. But I doubt Hendershot really has value. We've kind of described the tight end 3. Every single organization has multiple tight end 3 options. I'd be a little surprised, even in a player-for-player swap, if he got anything. As for Nahshon Wright, Dan Quinn won him. Dan Quinn also wasn't playing him down the stretch these last 2 years. That seems noteworthy. There is draft pedigree for Nahshon Wright, and we've seen teams gamble on players with a fresh start of, we liked him coming out. But again, that was what I call a non-consensus pick. Everyone thought Trey Lance was going to go in the first round. Everyone thought Elijah Molden was going to go top 75, top 80, whatever. Nobody had Nahshon Wright top 100, really except the Dallas Cowboys. So the draft pedigree angle, I don't know if the rest of the league was that high on him, and he hasn't played great when he's been out there. Now, Fansided suggested the Cowboys go trade for one of the Broncos running backs. The 2 names they mentioned were Javonte Williams, the former North Carolina product, and Samaje Perine, the veteran. Of these 2 backs, who would you rather trade for? JW for Javonte Williams or SP for Samaje Perine? I think most of us are going to type in JW, and I would agree. I think he's a better back, although there are some concerns we'll get to here. Denver's got Jaleel McLaughlin. It's kind of a change of pace, third down guy. Samaje Perine is kind of the third down back with blocking ability, but kind of fell out of favor at times last year. And I wonder how the addition of Audric Estime fits into all that. I also kind of like Blake Watson. I would have liked that pickup as a UDFA if I were the Cowboys. I think he's got some juice. Tyler Batty's great name. It's actually not to pronounce, but it's funnier that way. I don't think he makes the team, but maybe surprises. Someone's getting cut in Denver. And I think Perine is more likely to be cut than Williams because of the role, the usage. He had 217 carries last year. That's a lot. He also averaged a pretty paltry 3.6 yards per attempt. Now, that was coming off of the ACL tear. So maybe he'll be better a full year removed from it, whatever, because he was playing at a pretty similar clip in 2021, 2022. If he's available, I would kick the tires on him more so than Perine. Perine's limited. And frankly, I think the Samaje Perine role is basically the exact same as the Ezekiel Elliott role. He can pass protect, he can do short yardage stuff, he can catch some passes if needed out of the backfield, but he's not a big play threat. And he's even less of a workhorse guy than Zeke was at his prime. So of the two players, it's kind of a no-brainer for me. I'd much rather have Javonte Williams. I just don't know if he's available.